Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to my channel. My name is Bowman. Some of you recognise me already, and some of you new faces, and welcome to my channel also. And thank you so much for joining me on another video. So I'll be doing another read aloud for you guys. For those home together, it seems quite important thing to learn and listen. So first of all, I've got a storybook I can show you. This I have got Walt Disney's The Emperor's New Groove, published by Grolier Book Edition and Disney's one of reading. So just one quick note. So I'd like to thank you for subscribe to my channel and leave your comments down below. I have my creativity and productivity strengthened. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys are cool. I appreciate you guys also. So, shall I begin with this storybook to you guys? So sit back, relax and enjoy. Deep in the jungle, surrounded by mountains and rivers, stood the palace of young Emperor Kuzco. He was very rich and always got what he wanted. Kuzco was the all-powerful ruler of everything and everyone. But in this perfect world, nothing was ever good enough for him. One day, several beautiful young maidens were presented to him as possible brides. The emperor looked at the maidens and rudely insulted each one. The only time Kuzco seemed satisfied was when he had dozens of servants waiting on him and giving him compliments. When Emperor Kuzco wasn't sitting on his throne shouting orders, his advisor Yzma was there instead. She wanted to take over the royal power as always. Yzma's handsome assistant Kronk was right beside her. One day, Kuzco became annoyed when he caught Yzma on his throne, so he fired her. "You are being let go," he told her casually. Yzma was shocked and furious. On the same day, a peasant named Pacha arrived at the palace. Kuzco had ordered Pacha to come from his distant home to answer just one question. Showing the peasant a model of his hilltop village, Kuzco asked Pacha where the sun shone best. After Pacha answered politely, the emperor smiled. "I just needed an insider's opinion before I okayed the spot for my pool." Then he slammed the model of his new summer home on the top of the village. Pacha was shocked. Kuzco was going to destroy his village. "But where will we live?" he protested. Unfortunately, Kuzco doesn't care. Meanwhile, hidden away in her laboratory beneath the palace, Yzma was plotting to get rid of Kuzco. She and Kronk found a vial containing a deadly poison. Yzma invited Kuzco to dinner that evening. Once Kuzco arrived, Kronk served him a drink containing the poison. But the bumbling Kronk had put the wrong potion in the emperor's drink. It wasn't a poison at all, but it did turn Kuzco into a long-eared llama. Yzma started at a llama in stock, hit him on the head. She whispered to Kronk. Then she took Kronk to stuff the llama in the sack and get rid of him. Kronk lugged the sack to the large waterfall and threw it in it. Suddenly, he felt guilty. Quickly grabbing the sack out of the water, he ran through the town, wondering what to do. He raced down some sack with Kuzco inside, landed on the back of a Pacha's cart before Kronk could stop him. Pacha had left. When Pacha arrived home, he was surprised to discover unconscious llama in his cart. "Where did you come from, little guy?" he asked, stroking Kuzco's mane. Kuzco woke up and spoke. "No touchy," he yelled. "Ah, demon llama," Pacha cried, staring at Kuzco. "Where?" Kuzco shrugged. Then he saw his reflection in some water and realized he was a llama. "Okay, demon llama, just take it easy. I mean you no harm," Pacha said gently. "What are you talking about?" Kuzco snapped. "Oh, right, I know you. You are the fat, whiny peasant, Yamper Kuzco." Pacha gasped, surprised, but Kuzco thought Pacha was trying to trick him. "I remember telling you that I was building my pool, where your house was, and then you got mad at me. Oh, and then you turned me into a llama, and then you kidnapped me," Kuzco cried. "No, I didn't. No, you did not," Pacha replied angrily. Kuzco wanted to return to his palace. He thought Yzma could change him back into a human. He did not suspect Yzma of trying to kill him in the first place. Kuzco demanded that Pacha take him home. "Only if you build your summer home somewhere else," Pacha replied. Kuzco refused. He trotted off alone towards the palace, despite Pacha's warning about the dangers of the jungle. It wasn't long before Kuzco realized the jungle was scarier than he thought. "Ah!" he shrieked as a little squirrel appeared from the bushes, surprising him. The squirrel offered Kuzco an acorn. "Get lost, Bucky," the emperor rudely replied. At that moment, Kuzco fell down the hill and landed in the middle of a pack of hungry jaguars. Kuzco ran, but he ended up trapped at the edge of a steep cliff. Luckily, Pacha had been worried about Kuzco, so he landed secretly, followed him with a "ah." Pacha swam down on the vine and snapped Kuzco from the jaguars. But the rescue didn't go quite as planned. The pair ended up lashed to the branch, and it was about to break. With a scream, they dropped into the river far below. Kuzco was not pleased. They were carried, swirling and dripping through the water until Pacha family managed to drag Kuzco out, and when Kuzco did not wake up, Pacha almost had to revive him with a kiss of life. Yuck! Luckily, Kuzco woke up just in time and no kiss was needed. Back at the palace, Yzma was furious. Had just told her, in fact, Kuzco wasn't really dead. "You and I are going to find him," she shouted. "If he talks, we'll through." Out in the jungle, Kuzco and Pacha were shivering by the small fire. When Pacha gave the freezing llama his poncho to keep him warm, Kuzco was surprised. He wondered about Pacha's kindness, but that didn't stop him from lying to the peasant. Kuzco told Pacha that he decided not to destroy Pacha's village. The two shook hands on it. Believing Kuzco, Pacha agreed to take him to the palace. The next day, as they were in sight of the palace, Pacha fell through the hole and in the bridge. Dangling above the river, he shouted, "Kuzco, quick, help me up." "No," Kuzco replied. "I don't think I will." Kuzco did not care about Pacha. He had never intended to keep his promise to spare Pacha's village, so it was all a lie. Pacha asked. "Well, yeah," Kuzco replied. Suddenly, a bridge gave way beneath Kuzco. "Ah!" He yelled as he dangled over the river with Pacha. The pair had to work together to save their lives. But when they reached the top, the edge of the cliff gave way. Pacha started to fall, but Kuzco pulled him to safety. "You just saved my life," Pacha told Kuzco. "There is some good in you after all." After their adventures, Pacha and Kuzco were starving. They went to the jungle restaurant, but llamas weren't allowed inside, so Pacha disguised Kuzco as his bride. Kuzco decided the food wasn't up to his standards. He went to scold the cook in the kitchen. Just then, Yzma and Kronk came into the restaurant. Pacha overheard them plotting to kill the emperor. Thinking quite quickly, Pacha told the waitress that it was Yzma's birthday. As the waiter and waitress sang and congratulated Yzma, Pacha sneaked unexpected Kuzco outside. Then Pacha described the strange couple in the restaurant to the emperor. "That's Yzma and Kronk," Kuzco exclaimed. "I'm saved." "They are trying to kill you," Pacha argued, but Kuzco didn't believe him and hurried back to find Yzma. When he overheard Yzma and Kronk talking, he realized that the peasant was right. But by then, Pacha had gone. Unfortunately, Kronk had seen Pacha in the restaurant and finally remembered him. Pacha was a peasant who had driven away with a llama in his cart. If we find his village, Kronk thought out loud, we'll find him. And if we find him, we'll find Kuzco. So they were in Pacha's village, sitting in his house and pretending to be relatives. "Why, I'm his third cousin's brother's wife's step-niece's great aunt, twice removed." Yzma lied to Pacha's wife, Chicha. Meanwhile, Pacha and Kuzco had found each other and made up. As they returned to Pacha's house for supplies, they saw Kronk and Yzma. Pacha signaled to his wife to meet him alone. Then Pacha secretly asked Pacha to distract Yzma and Kronk. That way, he and Kuzco could get a head start back to the palace. So Pacha's clever wife and kids locked Yzma in the room, and when Yzma managed to break out, they had a surprise of honey and feathers waiting for her. But Yzma wasn't about to give up. Soon, she and Kronk were chasing Pacha and Kuzco through the jungle. It seemed nothing could stop her. But happily for Pacha and Kuzco, a bolt of lightning did. Arriving at the palace at last, Pacha and Kuzco hurried to Yzma's laboratory. They began looking for the potion that would change the Emperor back into the human. But the laboratory was full of potions as the pair searched. Yzma and Kronk turned up, finishing them off. Yzma ordered her assistant. Kronk, however, was having second thoughts. Yzma finally lost patience and pulled the lever. I should have seen that coming, Kronk said as they fell down the deep shaft. Then Yzma called in her guards to get rid of Pacha and Kuzco. The pair was in real trouble now. They began tossing vials of the potion at the guards. Puff, 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 puff. The guards changed into the warhog, the lizard, the cow, the ostrich, and the octopus. But Kuzco and Pacha still weren't safe. Get them! Yzma yelled at the animal guards. The guards chased the pair outside to the front of the palace. Pacha and Kuzco managed to climb onto the ledge thousands of feet above the ground. They had 2 fowls left, but Yzma knocked the fowls away as she and Kuzco sprang for them. They had butted heads. Yzma fell on the top of one of the fowls. Puff! She was changed into a hissing, spitting kitten. I'll take that, Kuzco said, reaching for the last file. Just then, Yzma the cat jumped onto his head when Pacha tried to pull her off the llama. The peasant stumbled and fell off a ledge. Pacha dangled far above the ground, barely hanging on. Drinking the potion, he yelled to Kuzco. After the struggle with Yzma, the last fell was within Kuzco's reach, but Pacha needed his help. Instead of grabbing the potion, Kuzco grabbed his friend. Pacha couldn't believe it. The Emperor had saved him instead of drinking the potion. Kuzco had actually done his second unselfish act, and all for his friend, Pacha. But now Yzma the cat had a potion. I win, she shouted. It seemed all hope of getting the potion was gone. But then Kronk opened the door, flattering Yzma behind it. She dropped a fowl, which Pacha caught and handed to Kuzco. He drank it, and the llama turned back into a young emperor. Soon Kuzco was looking at the model of his summer house again. Only this time, the emperor was grateful to Pacha. The peasant had not only helped him regain his human form, but he had also taught him that kindness and friendship are the most valuable things in the world. So Kuzco had built his new summer home. It was a modest hut on the hill next to Pacha's village. Pacha and his family and friends were happy to celebrate this newfound happiness with Kuzco. Kronk was happy too. He became a scout leader to all the kids in Pacha's village. Yzma the cat stayed at the village too. She even attended Kronk's scout meetings once in a while. The end. So, I hope you guys loved this storybook of Disney's The Emperor's New Groove. Well, some of you already knew. We were celebrating wonderful years of Disney's 100 years. It was quite obvious. Okay, so feel free to leave your comments down below, and remember to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you soon, and thank you very much.